Session 2. Hi everyone, welcome to the session. Session 2, we are going to deal about soil. The thin layers of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth is called soil. The thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth is called soil. It is closely linked to landforms determine the type of soil. So basing on the landforms, we get to know the different types of soil. What is soil made up of? The soil is made up of organic matter, minerals and weathered rocks found on the earth. So the thin layer is called soil, which covers the surface of the earth. It is closely linked to land. The different landforms determine the different types of soils. Soil is made up of organic matter, minerals and weathered rocks found on the earth. This happens through the process of weathering, and the right mix of minerals and the organic matters make the soil fertile. What makes the soil fertile is the thorough process of weathering and the right mix of minerals and organic matter makes the soil fertile. Landslides. What are landslides? Landslides are simply defined as the mass movement of rocks, debris, or earth down a slope. Landslides are simply defined as mass movement of rocks, debris, or the earth down a slope. They often take place in conjunction with earthquakes, floods, and volcanoes. So the landslides generally occur with a combination or simultaneously with earthquakes, floods, and volcanoes. A prolonged spell of rainfall can cause heavy landslide that can block the flow of a river for quite some time. Even the heavy rains for a long spell can also cause heavy landslide, which can even block the flow of river for quite some time. The formation of river blocks can cause havoc to the settlements downstream on its bursting. So, due to the landslide caused by heavy rains and blockage of the river flow for quite some time can result in causing havoc to the settlements in the downstream on its bursting. In a hilly terrain, the landslides have been a major and widely spread natural disasters that often strike life and property and occupy a position of major concern. So we learned that landslides are defined as mass movement of rocks, debris, or earth down a slope. Then they are associated with earthquakes, floods, and volcanoes, and even a prolonged spell of rainfall can cause heavy landslide which can block the flow of a river for quite some time. Due to this, it can cause a havoc to the settlements downstream on its bursting. Even in the hilly terrain regions, the landslides have been a major and widely spread natural disasters affecting the life and property of that area population. Let us move on to a case study. A massive landslide hit Pannagi village near Rekong Pio in Kinnaur district of Himachal Pradesh. Pardon with the pronunciations if anything goes wrong. A massive landslide hit the Pangi village or Panagi village near Rekong Pio in Kinnaur district of Himachal Pradesh and damaged a 200-meter stretch of old Hindustan Tibet road, which is the National Highway 22. This landslide was triggered by intense blastings at Pangi village. What was the reason for this landslide? The reason for the landslide was the intense blastings at Pangi village. Due to the blasting, this weak zone of slope collapsed and caused intense damage to the road and the nearby villages. So due to the heavy intense blastings happening in the Pangi village, that resulted in the weak zone and slope collapsed and caused intense damage to the road and the nearby villages of Pangi region. The Pangi village was completely vacated to avoid any possible loss of life. Mitigation mechanism. What is mitigation mechanism? How do we save our land from getting it landslide? What are the steps that we take to avoid landslides? The advancement in scientific techniques has empowered us to understand what factors cause landslides. So the advancements in the science made us possible to understand what factors cause landslides and how to manage them, how to reduce them, how to avoid them, how to counter them. Some broad mitigation techniques of landslide are as follows. First, hazard mapping to locate the areas prone to landslides. So first, we figure out the region and locate that region where there is a threat of landslides. Hence, such areas can be avoided for building settlements. Then, after you identify and trace the region, there we can avoid building of any kind of human settlements so that we can avoid the damage of human life. Second step is construction of a retention wall to stop land from slipping down. This is the second step, the construction of retention wall to stop the land from slipping. The third one, increase in the vegetation cover to arrest the landslides. When we try to increase the vegetation cover in the areas where there is a landslide, the soil capacity to hold it becomes to grow because the roots of the plants go down and establish a link between the soil and the plants. That's how we can try to arrest the landslides. And the last step is the surface drainage control works to control the movement of the landslide along with the rainwater and spring flows. So the surface drainage control is a new mechanism which will regulate the flow of the rainwater and also the flows of the springs in the areas where we have the landslide affected regions. There are 4 mechanisms or the mitigation techniques to avoid the landslides. One is identify the hazard mapping to locate the areas prone to the landslides. Then we can avoid building settlements there, construction of a retention wall to stop land from slipping down. Third, increase in the vegetation cover to arrest landslide. The last, a surface drainage control works to control the movement of landslide along with the rainwater and spring flow. These are the mitigation techniques which we can use to counter the landslides. Let us now move on to soil profile. What do we have in the soil profile? You can see the picture on the screen, figure 2.3. The topmost layer of the soil is with humus and vegetation. Then just below that we have the subsoil with sand, silt and clay. Then below that we have the weathered rock material, and completely at the bottom we have parent rock. So there are 4 levels in a soil profile: parent rock, weathered rock material, subsoil with sand, silt and clay, topsoil with humus and vegetation. What are the factors of soil formation? The major factors of soil formation are the nature of the parent rock and the climatic factors. Broadly, we can categorize them into 2 groups. One is the parent rock, second is the climatic factors. The other important factors which play a key role are topography, role of organic material and time taken for decomposition of soil formation. All these happen from place to place are different, so they may differ from place to place. So you can see the picture here, factors affecting the soil formation. First, it starts with the parent rock. Then on the right side you have the climate. Below you have the factors like relief, the topography, flora and fauna, and the time. Now looking at the parent rock, what all comes under the parent rock, which determines the color, the texture, the chemical properties, minerals, content, permeability. All these are determined by the parent rock. When it comes to the climate, the temperature, the rainfall, the rate of weathering and humus formation are the contributions of climatic factors. When it comes to topography or the relief features, altitude and slope determine accumulation of soil in that particular rock or the soil. The flora, fauna and microorganism affect the rate of humus formation. Time, the time determines thickness of the soil profile. So it determines different things, determine different factors. All these may differ from place to place. So till now we learned about the soil profile and the formation of the soil. Now degradation of soil. Soil erosion and depletion are the major threats to soil as a resource. What are the major threats of soil as a resource? One is the soil erosion, the second one is depletion. Soil erosion and depletion are the major threats to the soil as a resource. Both human and natural factors can lead to degradation of soils. Both human and natural factors can lead to degradation of soils. Factors which lead to soil degradation are deforestation, overgrazing, overusage of chemical fertilizers or pesticides, rainwash, landslides and floods. What are the major factors that lead to soil degradation? The major factors that lead to soil degradation are deforestation, cutting down the forest, overgrazing, taking the cattle and making the cattle to overgraze the grasslands, etc. Overusage of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. This is one of the negative factor which we studied with the green revolution, because the chemical fertilizers and pesticides are promoted to be used on a larger scale when they were implementing the green revolution. So the overusage of the chemicals in the fertilizers or pesticides can cause soil degradation. Then the rain wash, heavy rains wash away the topmost layers from the land, which is nothing but soil, and as we just studied, the landslides and the floods are few factors which lead to soil degradation. Let us now move on to the steps or some of the methods for soil conservation. Few of the methods are discussed here. Let us begin with mulching. The bare ground between the plants is covered with a layer of organic matter like straw. This helps to retain soil moisture. So what we need to do is, we need to give some gap between the plants so that the layers of the organic matter like straw will be there and which retain the soil moisture. That is called mulching. The second method suggested is contour barriers. The contour barriers are stones, grass, soil are used to build barriers along the contours. Trenches are made in front of the barriers to collect water. So this is a nice step, like stones, grass and soil can be used to build the barriers along the contours, means along the edges. The trenches are made in front of the barriers, where the trenches are like small holes or like pits which collect the water. So the water will get deposited in the trenches and the barriers are there to safeguard it, the soil fertility. Then moving to rock dam. Rocks are piled up to slow down the flow of the water. Then what happens? It prevents the gullies and further soil loss. So when the rocks are piled up, it will slow down the flow of the water. So the water flow will be on the rocks and there the soil will be reduced, and on the rocks the soil doesn't flow much. Then the next method is terrace farming. As you can see on the screen, broad flat steps of terrace are made on the steep slopes so that the flat surfaces are available to grow crops, and this will also reduce the surface runoff and soil erosion. The terrace farming is one of the ideal method for doing on the soil conservation steps. A broad flat step or terraces are made on the steep slopes so that the flat surface are available to grow crops, and they reduce the surface runoff and soil erosion, as you can see on the picture. Intercropping. Different crops are grown in alternative rows and are sown at different times to protect the soil from rainwash. So the land can be divided into different parts, and in the different parts we can have different crops at alternative rows and which are sown in different times so that it will stop the soil from rain wash. This is also one very good method. Then we have contour plowing. The contour plowing is plowing parallel to the contours of a hill slope to form a natural barrier for water to flow down the slope. So we build a plowing parallel to the contours of a hill slope and to form a natural barrier for water to flow down the slope. You can see on the picture, figure 2.6, which is given for us. Then we have shelter belts. In the coastal and the dry regions, the rows of trees are planted to check the wind movement and to protect soil cover. So in the coastal areas, shelter belts are very useful because in the dry regions, the rows of trees can be planted and which will check the wind movement and also protect the soil cover. So these are the few methods suggested for conservation of soil. So in this session we learned about soil, definition of soil, how are soils formed, landslides, how are landslides defined, what are the reasons. We also took a case study of a Himachal Pradesh region landslide on the National Highway 22. Then we moved on to figure out what are the mitigation mechanisms that we have to counter the landslides. Then we learned about soil profile, factors of soil formation, what are the key factors that determine the soil, what are the methods of degradation of soil, and at the end we learned about methods of soil conservation. That's all we have in this session. Stay tuned. Thank you.